Welcome to TFL Table Talk, June the 22nd. Wow, this year is just crazy.
Yeah.
We hope y'all are well and enjoying your homesteads and taking the time to enjoy your family and your friends. This week on
This week on the
on the
farm.
farm. Oh my word!
Yep. Got little Joe had a eye that puffed up. Got a video of it on YouTube. Um, didn't know what it was.
Wait, in this area, there's a really real bad pink eye. I'll get it out in a minute. The farmers around here, their cows, they struggle with it every year. And so when we first saw it, we thought, well, he got a thorn in it because we have so many berry bushes and they like to hide in the berry bushes and go up under the berry bushes. So we thought that's what it was. And then 2 days later, the left eye did it as well. And the right eye had swollen shut. So we said, no, there's something else going on. And in over 40 years, 45 years, oh my word, of chicken keeping, we have never experienced what we decided it was.
Yep. I guess it turned out be chicken eye worm.
Chicken eye worm. I had to call somebody and ask them, and then look up what they told me they thought, because we've never had anything like that. Apparently, it's only really common in the tropics or subtropical areas, and wild birds bring it in. But we were having all that flooding, and their coop was wet, and the wild birds would come in and eat some of their feed, and that kind of thing, and come and go from the area. And so, but he's the only one that had it. So we caught him, went to our standby treatment of coconut oil, which is what we treat the milk cow with if she's only had pink eye twice. And we got on it the first day, and she never had any problem with it because of the coconut oil. So we put him in isolation in the grow out coop, and um, 2 days of treatment, and it was gone. So he was back to himself.
Yep.
And then the reason I said, how about this week? You want me to?
Sure.
It is predator city around here. I've never lived in an area where there were so many things after your chickens. So we decided that we had, you might have to,
Thor in.
Gotta let Thor in. He's crying. He went outside to make his rounds, and he got back in. The door was closed. There's a good boy. So, in the last 3 weeks, we have lost 11 of our chickens, and a bear got one that was sitting out in the yard, but the others were raccoons. And the coop is 100 years old, but it's totally, we've repaired it. We put new front doors on it when the first time they got in and got the first two birds 3 weeks ago. Chicken wire everywhere. They tried to dig under and couldn't. And there was a little gap at the bottom of the door, and somehow he found it. And we had it blocked off with boulders. Here we got these great big old huge boulders. We had it blocked off, and he moved it and managed to finagle in between the board and the chicken wire. They are so smart and persistent, and got in there and got some more birds. And then we tightened all that up, put up new boards, new wire, zip tied all the wire, so I could barely squeeze in to get the eggs. And he went between a 6 inch, not even 6 inches, about whatever that is. I don't even know if you can tell, between two zip ties. Not only went in and came out. There had to be more than one of them. We decided it was probably a pair of siblings, and he was passing a bird out to one. But we finally got one, caught one, and so we have moved everybody. They wouldn't even go up. I mean, we could chase them around the chicken coop trying to corral them, and they would not go in that chicken coop. So we finally got them all in, and then we caught them, and put them in the grow out coop because it's very secure. A bear could get in there if he wanted to, but a coon cannot. And the bear would really have to want to get in there. It's got like 3 layers of wire. It's got a bottom, metal bottom, rabbit wire bottom. I mean, it's really secure because of the chicks. That's where we grow out the chicks. So we're down to 11 hens now. So uh, my mother asked me if we were going to get new birds, and I said not until this situation gets better. We figure something else out because we're just not going to keep feeding the coons. And now, after all that flooding and everything, we're in a dry spell, and we're in desperate need of rain. As a lot of my friends in the South are as well. So you just take what the Lord gives you and you go with it and do what you got to do. Garden is struggling. It's just one of those, we have seasons of struggle, and that's just what it is right now. So we'll just keep walking by faith and see what happens. What's next? This week on the Farmer's Lamp.
Yep.
He's very tired. He's been staying up at night trying to catch the coons coming and going. And the bear, he was up the morning at 1:15, and the bear was out there. So that's why he's a little quiet today. He's been a mighty hunter this week. He and Thor can't leave Thor out. Thor sits up with him and makes patrols and things. Let's see, on the Farmer's Lamp this week. Next Saturday is our giveaway. 5 copies of the 50th anniversary of Carla Emery's Encyclopedia of Country Living. After this kind of week that we've had, that's a lot for me to say. So you're welcome. So don't forget to go over to the video, and we will put the link down in the bottom to go to our review. And 5 people next Saturday will be chosen to in our table talk to win that book. So we're really excited because if you watch the video, you know how much we appreciate that book and recommend that book. Also, we put out a post, 20 things that my great-grandmother did. Did you want to say something?
About what?
Oh, I thought you moved to say something. 20 things that my great-grandmother did that I still do. And finally, those of you who have been emailing and asking questions will be happy to know that the basics of dehydration, food dehydration essentials, that post is out. Went out yesterday. Today's Saturday. Yeah, it went out yesterday. So that post is out for you. So be sure you check those out. I said register for the giveaway. So then the next thing would be question of the week. It's more of a topic of the week because I had 4 or 5 different questions, but they were all about eggs and egg laying. So just real briefly, we have several articles on the Farmer's Lamp, how to tell if an egg is fresh or rotten. And my brain just went into part. Egg abnormalities, egg laying. So we have several articles on there about eggs. Whether to refrigerate or not, how to wash them and store them, all those things. So, but the questions I received were, one, when do my hens start laying? My hens aren't laying, and they're almost 6 months old. Well, every breed is different. It depends on your environment, if they've had stress. Like a Big Mama, she hasn't laid in 2 days, but then there's been a lot of death in the coop. So she's, that sets them back. The number of daylight hours, which right now shouldn't be a problem, quality of feed, housing, water. They're different things, but most breeds will start laying between 5 and 6 months old. So I just suggested that she wait, 6 to 7 months because of her breeds and see what happens and then get back in touch with me. Another one was she had bumps on the outside of her eggs. Those are calcium deposits. They're all right. The eggs are fine. Go ahead and just eat the egg and do like always. Maybe calcium is free choice. So if your hen is taking it, she needs it. but there's something in her egg laying process that's just not quite. She's a young hen, so it's just not quite figured out yet. Egg abnormalities, they're just, bird by bird. So there's no one set answer. The other thing was a shellless egg. Never eat a shellless egg. We give them to the hogs, but we won't even give them to the dogs because there's that membrane that's around it, which is the white membrane that's around the inside of the eggshell, is permeable. So bacteria, viruses, poop, all that stuff can get through there. So when you stick your hand in your nest and you feel that gooey goo, just give it to your hogs. You can put it in your compost pile, but never eat it. Never, never eat that. And the last thing was egg yolks. Someone wasn't quite sure that farm raised birds had orange yolks, and or why they weren't sure that it was true, or why was it true. And then the eggs that you can buy in the store are pale yellow, almost even white. Well, there's several factors in that, and the biggest thing is commercially ran chicken houses and egg houses. They don't have access to free ranging bugs scratching through cow piles, compost piles. Um, so those are the things that make your chicken's egg yolks. Ours are orange. I mean, burnt orange. Matter of fact, our little granddaughter said, "Nana, that's really dark orange." I said, "Well, she's also been eating a lot of blackberries that are falling to the ground, so she's been getting really a lot of good stuff, a lot of bugs and things." And the quality of your feed, affects it. But the biggest part is the way commercial birds are raised, and they're just kept confined, and it's just a bad situation. But it is what it is, and that's why. And then their eggs are washed, so the bloom is washed off, and most of the time they're bleached. So they say that doesn't get in there and affect anything, but I disagree with that. So, so those were the egg questions that I got this week, or the ones I can remember. And if I forgot your question, it's okay because I've already answered it by email. So there you go. What's the last thing today? The health tip.
Well, the health tip, I would say, when I was a kid, I ripped my toenail, and then it grew down into the meat, and that's so they call that an ingrown toenail,
Mm-hmm.
and that caused bleeding and infection and stuff like that, and had to keep messing with it every couple months or
It's
so.
painful, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. And so went to a doctor, and he gave me a bunch of shots in the toe, ripped the toenail off, put some acid on the ends so it wouldn't grow back. It was just a mess. Then I found out later from an old guy. At the time, he was old. When I was a kid, he was probably in his late 60s. But
Yeah.
he told me, he said, "Well, you don't have to go to the doctor for that. All you got to do is take a file and just file down a small ridge, right? I mean, right in the middle, running from back here where it starts to the end, and just file that." He said, "Don't file in half, but file it like real thin." And he said, and then you can cut a V right there in the front, and always cut that as straight as you can when you cut your nail there. But then you cut a V there, and that's real thin, and the nail will grow up instead of down, and that works. And you don't have to get it ripped out, or you don't have to get any of that stuff done to it. So
you haven't had to go back to the doctor for that
no,
since that man told you that when
no.
you were a young boy.
If
Nice.
I ever do get to the place where a nail wants to grow down on the side into too far on this side instead of growing more out, then I just file the middle down a little bit where it's thinner, and it'll grow up instead while it goes out. So
Cool.
that fixes that.
Cool.
Any closing thoughts?
We hope that you have a great week, and that you get rain if you need it, that you get sun if you need it. We just hope that everything goes your way this week. Um, we are tired puppies here, but we had to stop in and visit with you and remind you about the giveaway next Saturday. So,
Yep. Remind anybody that you know that would benefit from that book that they can enter. I mean, the publisher is, once we tell him who wins the raffle, the 5 people out of those comments on YouTube, then he'll send it out from the publishing house, and don't have to pay any shipping, handling, no purchase necessary. Just get a book that can be a real help to you.
yes,
So until next time.
safe and happy journey.